Hey guys, welcome back to a page in the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and today we are talking about my 2024 goals. I am dog sitting currently, so if you hear any background noise, that's the dogs. They're very clingy and they are not enjoying the fact that I am not stroking them every second of the day. This 2023 reflections and 2024 goals video is coming a touch late because of my move and booktube break and things, but these are some of my favourite videos to get out and I really like having them on my channel. And we're still early enough in the year that I can work towards these goals, so I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to put them out there on this channel and we're gonna have like a little chat about how last year went, what my goals for last year were and did I achieve them, and what I want to take with me into the new year. So if you guys like the sound of this video and you would like to see more from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload twice a week on a Wednesday and a Sunday, so there's no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. Also, do please feel free to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at PageInChapter for just more content, more behind the scenes, more pictures of my books and bookcases and what I'm reading and things like that. And so yeah, without further ado, let's get on into talking about 2023 reflections and 2024 goals. So if I could sum up 2023, it was a real year of change for me. And some of that change was incredible. I've moved, I got engaged. You know, some of it is some of like the best changes that have ever happened to me. Some of those changes were harder to deal with. Like, I can look back at it now and really see how that was opportunities for growth and really see this silver lining in some of the things that happened in 2023 and honestly think quite positively overall. But I'm also gonna, you know, it wasn't the nicest to deal with at the time. And so that kind of plays a role into what I want to take with me in to 2024. I won't get too into it now, we'll still talk about 2023. In terms of bookish goals, I really wanted to read 70 books. 70 books was my goal for the year, and I remember I knew it would be achievable, but I also remember thinking like that would still be a challenge. It would be a challenge for me to get to 70, but still achievable, basing it on how I'd kind of struggled in previous years to hit higher goals. I hit 70 books in September, so I kind of smashed that out of the park, and then I upped it to 100 books and I also read over 100 books. I hit that goal as well. In total I read 103 books last year, which is up there as one of my best, I believe. There's only been one other year where I read over 100 and that was 2020. So the fact that I read over 100 whilst finishing a master's degree, experiencing all of the changes in life that I was experiencing, working full-time towards the end of it, I am really impressed with myself, and we are carrying that energy into 2024. I really liked the way that I approached reading last year, and again I will touch on that a little bit more, but I just really enjoyed it. I felt like I got to really fall in love with my hobby all over again. It wasn't just I'm reading just for these videos, or I'm reading just so that I have stuff to talk about on YouTube. It once again became I'm reading because I'm just really enjoying it, and that was really fun to get to experience again. Like, it felt like 2020. In previous years when I have had such a good reading year, I've then cooled it down the next year and been like, no, I'll try and read less. Not doing that this year. I am full guns blazing it into the new year. And then another goal that I had last year was to really stay consistent with YouTube, which I did not. I would say that I failed at epic proportions of that. I took 2 huge breaks. I took like the entire summer off and then ended up taking over a month off at Christmas because of the move. You know, I'll cut myself some slack. I was going through a really hard time in the summer and that's why I didn't post, and I also went on holiday so many times that it would have just been, it was impossible for me to try and get back on top of things. And then I had to pull off a move to a new city where I didn't know anyone in 4 weeks, with Christmas being one of those weeks. So again, you know, at the end of the year, can kind of forgive myself a little bit for not posting, but I failed in my goal. I was not consistent on YouTube, it is what it is really. I'm not beating myself up over it anymore. Like that would be something that I would have really like berated myself for in previous years, but I just didn't have it in me to post. Like stuff was just going on and I just didn't have it in me, and that is okay. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes that happens. And I'm really excited about making content again. Like I've got such a nice new filming space and cozy space and reading space, and just in general I have my own space. I'm not living with my parents anymore. I don't have to think about, you know, what they're doing, if they're making background noise, what their plans are, can I film around that. It's my own space and I can do whatever I want in it whenever I want. So I'm really excited about the implications that will have on my content. And then the final goal that I can remember having for 2023 was to ignore numbers more, and I would say this one was a success. I think as well because I took so many extended breaks, that really played into why I was able to ignore the numbers so much. I knew that my numbers were going to be taking a huge hit from the breaks. I kind of just had to deal with that. Like I had no choice, and because I wasn't so invested in BookTube anymore, because I wasn't posting as much, it became a lot easier to ignore the numbers and kind of just do it for fun, which then had an impact on what I was reading and why I was reading it and the fun that I had there. So I would say this one was a big success, and again we'll be taking that with me into 2024. I think it had a big positive impact on how I approached my hobby essentially, and that was an important one, and I'm glad that I was able to achieve that one. And so now going into the 2024 goals. We can't really talk about goals on a BookTube channel without talking about reading goals. Now my reading goal for 2024 is 100 books. Ideally I would like to read more than 100. I would like this to be my best reading year ever. I'm not gonna overdo it, I'm not gonna over push myself. I'm just going to read for fun and see where that takes me. Because I'm enjoying reading so much at the minute, I am ahead on my goal. I'm on track / ahead depending on where in the week I am, and I really think that I can hit 100 books this year. If I could do it last year in such a difficult year when so much of my life was changing, this year I think I will be able to hit it. So I very much want to aim for 100 books this year, and I do think that it is achievable. The structure of my weeks has changed quite drastically because I live with my fiance now, and his work schedule like goes well into the evening, so I have a couple of hours each night just completely set aside for what I want to do, and I'm just on my own in the house to do whatever it is I want to do and catch up on my own hobbies. So I think the structure is going to work quite nicely for me being able to get plenty of reading in. My next goal is to get a solid routine down and feel structured or settled in all aspects of my life, to be honest. I want to have a solid and consistent YouTube schedule on this list, but I don't really trust myself after last year. I don't trust what the universe is going to throw at me, but I would really like to get a solid routine down. And as I said, I have a lot more time in my week now, so I can do that and I can get into that routine that hopefully won't be too impacted by outside things. And so I'm hoping by just feeling more settled and consistent in just all of my hobbies and the structure of my week, it will make me more consistent on BookTube, because BookTube will just slot into my week and it will be reliable and consistent, and that's really what I'm hoping for. Not just for more consistent YouTube, but just for my own well-being. I am very, very routine oriented, and I really struggle when I'm not in a routine and I'm not settled. So just really taking the time to settle is a big goal for this year. I'm starting to learn that I'm actually a really creative person. I didn't think that I was. I thought that I was terrible at art and drawing, so I just always assumed that that meant I wasn't a creative person. And I've realized that I actually am very creative. I really like working on reading journals. I show my creativity through my BookTube. I show my creativity through coming up with like little threads of ideas in my mind with stories and romance ideas and things like that, and I've never ever really let myself pursue a lot of these things because I've just told myself that I'm not a creative person and I'm not good at that. And so I really want to work on that this year and take more pleasure in the videos that I'm filming and letting myself be creative in that way and not getting so bogged down in does it look perfectly aesthetic. And then writing as well is something that I really want to explore more. I started to do it a bit last year but fell out of it again with everything that was just going crazy in my life, and yeah, it's just something that I really want to pursue a lot more, even if it's terrible, just to let myself kind of flex that muscle again and just express myself in that way. That is something that is a really big goal for me in 2024. It's the goal that probably makes me the most nervous, because to me, with something like being more creative, there is a way to fail that. Like, I could be terrible at writing, my reading journal could turn out ugly and I could hate it. Like, there is a way for me to fail it, like, or for me to view it as I failed it. So this one is kind of nerve-wracking, but it's something that I really want to do. So yeah, I don't know, this one's a weird one and it's gone very rambly, but that is a very big goal for me. My next one is also a really big one, and that is to approach content with a healthier mindset. Sometimes I forget that this is my hobby. I forget that I just love reading and have always loved reading, and reading is my hobby. And I started BookTube in lockdown because I had nobody to talk to about all of the books I was reading, and that was why I did that. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? I just want to really take the pressure off. I don't want to feel like I have to read just for content, or like I don't want it to feel like a chore or a job, and it hasn't ever really felt like that, but I just don't want it to feel like that. And I just need to take the pressure off of BookTube and allow myself to really like just enjoy it and view it as my hobby, really. This one is more of a preventative measure, I think, because I plan on fitting BookTube into my life a lot more and my routine a lot more and having that time. I am worried that it could start to feel like a second job. So this one's a preventative measure to just remember that this is my hobby and I do it because it's fun and I enjoy talking about books. And then my final goal for 2024 is to mood read more. Where I haven't been filming or uploading, I haven't been making TBRs because I realized that I only made TBRs so that I could film them and have an extra video a month. Before YouTube, I did not have TBRs. I only mood read, and it was something that I started doing for content. Since I haven't been making content, I've stopped having TBRs, and I have noticed a huge shift in how easy it is for me to read books and the enjoyment that I take from picking out a book and reading it. And my TBRs were never super strict. I did have room for mood reading in them, but it started to feel a little bit like I was failing if I wasn't getting to the books that were on my TBR. Like, it became very exhausting to constantly not get to the same books, or even if I was reading more than I had set myself on my TBR but I hadn't read those specific books, it would feel kind of like I'd failed the month. I still think that I will have TBRs here and there. I think they are really helpful sometimes for getting me read books that I wouldn't otherwise pick up, or really helpful for getting numbers on my physical TBR down, or getting to books that I really want to talk to other people about. I do think TBRs are good for me to have some form of structure to my reading, and I won't stop doing them completely because I have found them to be helpful. But I would like to introduce mood reading back into my reading style because it's made it so much more fun. It made me relax a lot more. It made me approach reading like it was my hobby much more. And I feel like I'm starting 2024 off in a really healthy place, to be honest. I want to keep that going. I want to keep my mindset about reading and this channel going for as long as possible so that I can stay in this healthy mindset. And a lot of my goals are either preventative or to keep doing things that I'm already doing, and that feels nice to already be in a place that I'm really happy with and to find ways to keep that up rather than previous years when I've been making changes to try and see what works. Like now I kind of know what works. It took a lot of breaks from BookTube in order to find that again, but very happy to have found it and be able to really approach BookTube in a better way so that it is more consistent for me. So yeah, I feel like this was quite rambly, maybe a little bit deep, maybe I did a little bit of oversharing, I'm not sure, but I don't know, I got talking and then I couldn't stop. It's been too long since I spoke to you guys. But I do hope that you enjoyed this video and you enjoy my goals for the next year, you enjoy hearing about them. Hopefully you guys can take something from this video and the way that I approach things. If you guys enjoyed this video and you would like to see more from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Stay tuned for future content. As I said earlier, I am uploading every single Wednesday and every single Friday because we are officially back. Also, do please feel free to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at PageInChapter. It is much easier for me to get content up onto Bookstagram and I post there a lot. I've been really enjoying Bookstagram lately, so might be worth following me on there. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything you are reading and there are no reading slumps in your future, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.